sunrise on a Saturday, I'm headed out to the lake, just my buddy and me. Got my boat hooked up to my Chevy truck, I'm running high on luck, I ain't ever coming down. Time to back the boat down the ramp again, do everything we can to come back in with a winning side. That's a life for a fisherman you wouldn't understand, something you can't feel on dry land. You gotta get your arms way up in a cast and set the hook on a smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. You gotta get your hands on a Shimano reel and a G-loom that's trying to bet you like what you feel.
What is going on, everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land? Larry Slack already in the house. What's up, brother? Appreciate you joining in here. Those of you guys that have been following along with my channel over the past few months know that I'm putting out a lot of content, and this hey Corey, what's up, buddy? The series that I'm working on right now, guys, is something that's a little different to me, and I'm trying to create a story about breaking down the Ohio River as a whole. Literally, if you guys watch the first episode of Breaking Down the Ohio River on YouTube, it was about 27 minutes long. I apologize for about it being so long, but one of the things that has come from that is I've gained a lot of followers in my area. So I want to thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, I appreciate if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Those of you guys that follow on Facebook, I appreciate you guys too. But right now, since the last episode aired, which was exactly 1 week today, I've gained 30 followers, and 18 of those followers have came since I actually uploaded the Ohio River Fishing Series. So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to take an opportunity. I'm going to show you two applications that anybody can use, and we're going to break down the Ohio River in more detail to allow me to go out and try to catch some more fish. So first and foremost, the two applications I'm going to use today is going to be the Anglr app, which is free. You can go to, if you have an iPhone or an Android phone, if you go to your app store, whether it be Google Play or the iTunes application store through your iOS device, you will be able to search the Anglr app. It's ANGLR, just like here. This episode is brought to you today by Tackle Box in South Bend, Ohio, and Anglr. If you go to anglr.com, anglr.tech, they have a bunch of different ones. It all takes you to the same spot. But there's a web application version, which we're going to look at today. There is a online or on a mobile version of it. And one thing that I was talking to one of the guys from Anglr today about, they're working on actually making this a lot better than it is. They've kind of put it on hold for a while because the web, from what I understand, their web developer kind of split ways with them, and they don't have a web developer at this point. So we are going to look at what you can do with the website of things, but the application on your cell phone is way more powerful than I'm going to show you. But the cool thing about the Anglr app is that you can pin waypoints on the web app version of it, and it actually will directly sync to your phone automatically, instantaneously will be there. And the really cool thing about that is I'm a Humminbird guy. You guys have heard me talk about trying to upgrade to the 12-inch Humminbird Solix, which I'm still working on. But right now, if you like fishing Lowrance and you have Lowrance gear, the Anglr app will allow you to export waypoints directly. It actually will sync directly to your Lowrance graphs. However, if you have a Humminbird graph like I do, you can export the waypoints on here and then put it in as a GPS file or GPX file onto your graph. So you can do that both ways. So what we're going to do again, guys, is I'm going to share my screen here really quickly, and we're going to get directly into it, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. The second application I'm going to be using is the Navionics chart viewer. I do not have the paid version of Navionics. You could do a lot more, a lot cooler stuff with it. Also, on the Anglr application, there's a really cool thing that you can do with as far as like charts. They have a NOAA and they have a few other things on there, so you can actually see depth charts on certain lakes and bodies of water, which is really cool. And it's that's a premium feature that you pay for that monthly. But the Anglr app, what I'm going to show you today, is totally free. So let's dive right in. Let's go ahead and share my screen here. And what I have here, guys, is I have a split screen. And on the left-hand side, what you see right here, this is the Anglr app. And on the right-hand side is the Navionics app. If you were to do this directly on your Anglr app on your phone, you could do everything I'm going to do on one spot. If you had the premium version of Anglr, you can just pull up the charts, find what I'm actually looking for, and then you can actually drop the pins on your app and have it there. But let me just make this full screen so you guys can see it here. A couple of things that that you are seeing here. On the right-hand side, you see a menu. Top right of that is you get 2 base layers. You can do satellite or terrain. I chose satellite. And then to close that, on the bottom right, you have a plus. And this is where you can drop a bunch of pins here. So that's what we're going to use today. But we're going to kind of compare 2 different applications to get that done. On the left-hand side, you see I have a lot of different things here. What I'm planning to do, you see here that it says My Packs. What I'm going to do with this stuff is I'm going to build a pack through Anglr. And normally these things are actually paid for. But I'm working right now. I think it's possible just to give the pack away, doing a free pack. So I'm going to talk with Landon and the guys in Anglr. And I'm going to build this waypoint pack that we create today. I'm going to put it out there in the next day or so. I'm going to try to. That way I can we can work on this and build this thing together. And what I'm going to do now is when I put these pins on here, I'm going to use my phone to go to these places on the river. And I'm actually going to try to fish them. I had some really cool people message me and stuff for the week talking about really good spots on the river, especially in the Maysville and other pools, the Meldal pool and stuff like that, which I appreciate a lot, guys. You know, that helps me out a lot. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and snap this to this side of my screen. So I have a split screen here. And what I'm doing here, so that's the Iron Bridge. Let me find out where I'm at here. That's the 2 Ashland bridges, sorry. Oh, lying to you. That's Ironton. There's the one. This is an old photo. That's the one the Iron Bridge was being built. So here's the pool and the boat dock that I put in the other day. Cold Grove Boat Ramp. Again, this is literally 2 miles from my house, so it's really cool. I'm going up in here in this tributary right here. This is Ice Creek. And then, you know, up this way, we have the 2 Ashland bridges and a few things we're going to be looking at there. But first and foremost, I'm going to show you that over here on the Navionics chart viewer, I've actually did this the hard way. But I wanted to find out how big this pool is. So right here is the Greenup Dam. This is the this is a Lockett Dam here. You can see some of the contour lines there. That's one of the things about using the Navionics free app, guys. What I'm doing, I went to navionics.com, chose Chart Viewer here at the top, and that will give you all this information. You can see this pretty much for the whole country. So what I did was I charted a plot, or I plotted a chart all the way down, and it ends way up here at the Robert C. Byrd Loxon Dam here at Gallipolis, pretty much Gallipolis, Ohio. So if you look here on the left-hand side, it's a 61-mile pool from dam to dam. So that's something I didn't know. Right now, if Larry Slack is in the business of building the hydraulic cylinders and stuff that help work on these dams, which I've learned a lot about since then. But so from dam to dam, the pool that I'm trying to break down, trying to find some better places for, is 61 miles. So, it's almost impossible to break down 61 miles, even in a year, if you really want to break it down. So I'm going to spend my time going from the Greenup Lock up to about Huntington, which is going to be So here's Huntington right here. You know, somewhere in this area right here. Let's find out where the boat ramp is in Huntington. I'm trying to find it here. Looking for the. So here's Proctorville. Here's a. Maybe. So here's. Where am I at? Sorry, guys. So this is Huntington here. Was this East Huntington? So right in here is where, you know, I'm going to start and end from. I'm not going to go any farther past Huntington because it's going to take up a lot of time to break that down. So I'm going to look at that area right now today. So I'm going to, you know, again, split this up. I'm going to grab my Anglr app and I'm going to go down here to, again, this is coming from Google. And you can see it says 2020 Google on there. If you guys can make that out, that is wrong because this bridge right here doesn't exist anymore. This bridge has been built for quite a while now, and this is the actual blue bridge that you see on some of my videos, but this bridge is no longer even there. So this is, wow, this is a really old photo. There's a big boat ramp, like a boat dock that's in this area right here. So if I zoom in here, I can already see that there's a grass line right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm within the Anglr app. I'm going to open up my little plus here, and I'm going to choose custom pin. I'm going to click, hold, and drag this thing out to here. And then when I go in here, I can actually edit this thing and put it in what I want. Let's just say that this is a weed bed. And then I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to close that out. So there's one pin that I've dropped in there. Yeah, Tyler Akers. Let's see. What is it there? Yeah, boy. The fuzzy duck is even there. That's awesome. This is a really old photo, but it says it's 2020 from Google. This is directly from Google's API. So that's pretty crazy. So you're right. So all right. So this is a wood, you know, like a floating raft. There used to be a dock there. That's not there anymore, so I'm not going to pin that. So there's some grass there. I'm going to work my way down. This is the area right in here that you guys saw me working that chunk rock with the crankbait there on the episode the first time. So I know it's there, but just for a simple fact, notice there's a bunch of different ones here. You know, honey hole, dock, custom, change gear, catch, boat ramp, and bait. So I know there's a boat ramp right here. It really doesn't matter for me, but if you guys want this map pack, there's a boat launcher right here. I'm going to drop that there. That's immediately sync it to my phone. But again, so I know this stuff's here, but I'm going to drop this stuff out here. And the reason I'm dropping, and there's more, if I would bring this down, there's actually a rock. So if I bring this out, throw some rocks in here. Let's see, I'm going to edit this. I'm going to say rocks 15 foot deep. Let's do. If you caught a fish or whatever there, you could add it. So I'm saving that there. And again, you see all this stuff. So I'm just working my way around, which is really, really cool within a feature. Yeah, Eric, maps from like 2008. You're right. And it's weird, though. Some sections are really crazy. Yeah, Corey, again, man, the Anglr app is really, really cool. It's free to download. I would recommend it for anybody out there. At the end of the show, I'll drop my friend code on here so you guys can actually join in with me and become my friend. So this is some grass here. This is fairly, let's see. So I know downriver from this boat ramp. I want to go up this way. I'm going to go upriver again. So this is the boat launch. I'm going to drop the boat launch pin there. Again, not for my sake, but if you guys want to download this map pack later, you guys can find this boat launch here. So let's see. I'm trying to work my way up. And then what you could do with the two different applications here, guys, is that if you have them side by side and you have the actual the paid version of the Navionics app, you could see all of the, you could see some contours over here. There's one spot that really caught my eye way down here in next to the dam. Trying to find where it's at here. If you notice this spot right here, that's out below a chemical plant there. But let's see, let me find out exactly where I was at, where I was looking at. So here's the Greenup Dam, and just before that, check out this spot right here. So if you guys notice here, it says Old Lock 30. This used to be where the old lock used to run across the Ohio River. So notice that these contour lines are, it shows 8 foot in here. I've never graphed this, but if this is really true, and this is like 8 foot, I don't know that it could be. This has got, let me make sure, I'm going to go in here and make sure that I have, no, it shows feet, so that's right. So everything should, but if this is a big flat right here, right, this would be one heck of a place to target largemouth in the springtime coming up into this flat. I swear I don't think that that's true, but if it is, heck, it is. That would be awesome. So I see that, and again, that's downriver. So I told you guys I wanted to go upriver and kind of break this down. But so there's the 2 bridges. I'm going to go back up here, find out where we're at here. Before that, so here's the Greenup Dam, and roughly right in here, I think this one of these houses right here is the old lock house. Let's see where it's at compared to. So that's Holiday Point. This is Holiday Point. So I have them both correct. So it looks like it's almost directly up from that. So here's those 2 pylons that are here and here. I'm going to drop another pin there, and I'm going to call that. Let's see. I'm going to call it a shelf. I think that this is going to be you can actually go in here and edit these things also. Arch spawning flat. So I've dropped that pin now, which is really pretty cool. I just randomly ran onto that when I was messing with this thing earlier. But again, I'm going to go upriver here, and I'm going to look at some things that, may not be evident to the eye. This is another boat launch here. This is all a big concrete pad. There's some chunk rock here, but it's not a bunch. These bridge pillars right here could be a player. I'm going to try those out. I've never, ever fished them in my entire life. Right here, some rocks that I've never fished. I'm going to drop those in there as a rock. And again, guys, what I'm doing here, if you guys are just joining, is I'm going to be looking at these things. I'm dropping this stuff on my Anglr app on the web version, and it's syncing directly to my phone. So what they'll do there is that it'll allow me to drop these pins and find them on my phone later. So I'm just looking for stuff that I may or may not have ever seen. And I'm breaking down the Ohio River to try to catch some more fish. And I'm going to be trying some new things that allow me to find more fish than I've found in the past. I know that there's some rocks right in here. So this is what we refer to as the Miracle Mile. It's kind of like the one in the Detroit River. From here to here in this river, it just gets beat up. I mean, it gets beat up. I'm talking like, it gets, with all this barge traffic on side to side, the barges come through, the boats come through there, and it just acts as a big like washboard with the stuff going back and forth. So it gets really, really rough in here. Some of these barges back in here, they don't move. Some of them do. Most of them do. They're building tow for other rigs and stuff. So what's going on? This is Marathon and other stuff. Hey, Eric, buddy, I appreciate it. Billy Wilmoth in the house. What's up, brother? Yeah, Carl, this is something I'm trying out. Like I said, I went out last Wednesday. Sorry, not last Wednesday. I went last Thursday for a few hours from 5 till about 9:30 when I got dark. Caught one spotted bass. But I'm looking at different places on the river here that potentially could hold fish. So here are some pylons. If you can get in behind here, these things usually are a game or a player. But I'm going to drop a pin here. I'm just going to call it structure. I'm going to drop that pin there. Again, all this stuff gets transferred straight to my phone or what have you. If you look up here at the top, it says export waypoints. You guys can't see that. It's behind my logo. I apologize. But you can export this as a GPX file and throw it directly on your Humminbird or Navionics or your Humminbird. I don't know if it works on Garmin. I'm sure it probably would. But your Humminbird or Lowrance graphs, it's actually I think it's through Bluetooth. I can't tell you 100% because I don't own a Lowrance graph, but I think with your phone you can Bluetooth and it goes directly to that application or to your graph, which is really cool. So you hit the Anglr bullseye here on my hat, bing, it marks a waypoint on your phone and then automatically transfers that to your Lowrance graph. I'm hoping that feature comes out for Humminbird because that's the route I'm going to go. So what I'm doing is just looking for things that kind of stick out to me. So here's just a couple random barge tiles out here. I'm going to mark those things. There's some chunk rock in behind that too. I think I'll move this pin. Notice that I dropped it. Now I can move it. Again, you can go in here and you can edit whatever you need to do. You can delete it, whatever. So I have all that stuff there. Let's see, here's some more chunk rock, but it doesn't look like it's very deep there. And I'm just sight fishing here, guys. I'm just looking for spots going upriver from the Coal Grove boat ramp. This is the Canova terminal. We're heading towards Huntington. Is this grass over here? Oh, that's mud. And it's really cool that when you zoom in far enough on Google Maps, it actually gives you like a 3D view of the thing, which is really daggone cool. And keep in mind, this thing looks like, well, the fuzzy duck's been gone for like 10 years, it seems like. So this photo could be 10 years old. So you go and drop a pin here somewhere, and then you drive to it, and you're like, oh, crap, it doesn't look anything like that. Well, you know, that's the kind of the double-edged sword here with this. So this actually looks pretty good. We'll drop a structure pin on this. And what I'm doing is building a game plan. So when I go back out again, I can hit some of these. Here's some actual docks for, I don't know if there's a dock one or not. Yeah, there's a dock. Bingo. Drop those there. Carl Hunt, just upstream from the first bridge. Let's see, from Ohio. So you along the Ohio. So the first bridge of which first bridge, Carl? Let me know. Let's see, first bridge into Huntington. All right, so let's look, check that out. So let's go into the first bridge into Huntington, which is going to be here. So he's saying just upstream of the first bridge on the Ohio bank. So it's got to be in here. Looks, if that's what I'm seeing, is the stumps there. There's some timber down here. Let's drop that in there for some structure. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. I'll check that one out. So this is the first bridge. I know for sure most of these grass beds, I'm not going to mark the grass beds because as far as I know, I never saw a patch of grass one when I was in the river there, but I went downstream again. So I'm looking around there. So that's the stump field that Carl has told me about. So this is the water treatment plant, I think, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in here. Yeah, it's right here somewhere. There's a water treatment plant, and they have their water that comes out here somewhere. They've done a lot of renovations and stuff in here, and they changed the water flow. And you used to be able to come in here and catch a ton of fish, and they've changed all that. I think it's actually upstream a little bit. but they changed it on the river, and it actually is not that good to fish anymore. It's probably right in here somewhere. It used to come out, and you used to be able, man, I tell you what, you go in there and catch some largemouth, but you'd also get hammered with some stripers in there too. It was always a fun time, but they've changed it, and it doesn't have the water flowing out of it. I think they buried it under the water, so the water flow is probably still there, but you just can't see it that much. So here's another, this is what they call the Harris Riverfront Park. The boat ramp is over here. I'm not even sure. This boat marina is gone. This barge sank, which is kind of frustrating because I just wonder how accurate this is going to be. So I'm not going to mark stuff like that. I know this thing is actually gone. There's nothing but those pylons there. There's another good spot right upriver from Huntington there that I catch a ton of fish on, and it's right here. This is a big chunk rock bank that comes out, and this has actually been pushed over the bank. This is man-made here. And it's weird because they pushed a ton of rocks over that way. And they made this little like jetty thing with all these, which I thought was illegal. I thought you couldn't change the flow of a river or a creek or anything, but maybe they just said, whatever, they did it anyway. But so this is a really good spot here, and I'm going to drop a honey hole pin on here. Bingo. This is a really good spot all the way down through here. And then it gets to this spot right here. And like if this was like if I had a spot, my favorite spot to fish on the river, upriver, it would be in this area. I like it a lot. This bank is really steep right here. It always has some grass, and there's always a bunch of current flowing around this. Smallmouth seem to be they seem to congregate around that area, especially in this area right here. Again, you can't tell, but this bank right here is very, very it's very steep. There's a lot more water there than normal. Just be careful in the high river. They have mutant catfish, at least I heard. I can't speak for mutants, man, but they do have some giant catfish. There are some big ones in there, 100-pound plus. Here's a sunken barge. This is definitely here. Definitely hitting that, dropping that structure there. Couple of things. There's a few tournament rules out there, especially like if you fish our tournament in October, the Ohio River Rat. It's not allowed to fish in sunken barges. So if you were fishing around this, that's totally fine. You just can't fish within that sunken barge. That's not our rules. That's the guy who created this tournament's rules, and we're kind of trying to keep it as much as possible like his stuff so we can kind of carry on his legacy, if you will. So here's another sunken barge. The reason that, just to touch on that, is the reason that we don't allow people fishing in sunken barges is that if it's totally sunken or if there's water in the barge, but there's not able for the fish to fall or swim in and out of there, somebody could easily stock that thing with fish and go in there and pitch a lure in there and catch them all back out. This bridge pillar right here is usually really daggone good. There's usually stumps and trees and everything else caught up around that area because it's coming out. This is what is the name of this creek here? It's the Wyandotte, I believe. Wyandotte River comes out there. But this is the east end of Huntington, I believe. Yes, the east end of Huntington. But this bridge right here, this is a Proctorville bridge. This pylon usually pretty good. This marina right here, I'm going to go ahead and drop a marina pin on here because this marina is actually privately owned. You cannot fish in there. I don't get it. I don't know the legalities of it. I don't think they own the water there. I don't think they could actually keep you out of it. But I think it's just the people have some really nice and high-end boats there, and they don't want you messing with it. But there's a really good spot to fish back in here. Again, I'm not looking that crazy about it as far as getting up in there. I don't think they could like make you leave, especially if you weren't on their docks or wasn't hurting their stuff. But I was pre-fishing for the River Rat tournament and got ran out of there by some dude. Was back in there, and he come out, and he was pretty daggone irate, and I wasn't in the mood to mess with anything like that, so I just left. And again, guys, if you guys are just joining, I appreciate it. I had about, let's see, what was it? 30 subscribers in the past week or so. So, man, I tell you what, that is a huge jump for me. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing for me. Trying to get to that 5,000 subscriber mark by the end of this year. I know that's not going to happen. Again, that's something pretty crazy. This looks like an old boat ramp here. Looks like a boat ramp. Yeah, it's an old ramp. Looks like I've never seen this before. So this is a cool thing about this. I'm going to drop this here. Let's see here. What do I want to drop? Let's just drop this custom pin here. And within this custom, I'm going to edit it and say, let's see. Large concrete wall. Save that. Get rid of this. And again, I'm just looking for different things here that kind of stick out. I'm going to use this. That's a big concrete platform. I like that. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to hit these spots that I'm pinning and see if I can catch any fish off them in the next coming. And it won't be the next video. The next video you guys will see from my channel will be some Lake Erie walleye and smallmouth fishing. But for episode 3 of this series, I'm going to go upriver, find some of these spots on my Anglr app, and see what I can get done with it. So again, this stretch of bank right here is very, very tough. There's a really nice wall there. Let's just drop another structure pin there. Might be something parallel with the crankbait, 1.5, maybe a little deeper running crankbait, small swim bait, somewhere in there. So you can see, like, there's nothing different up through here. It seems like that a lot of people in my area go downstream when we're fishing tournaments, and it comes usually with a very good, they usually win it down that way too. So that's there's really good reason why people do that. So anyway, what we did here is we have joined. We're on the Anglr app. I dropped some pins. Obviously, I just want to drop some pins that I can actually work with in one day or a couple days only. And I'm going to go and I'm going to work on this thing. One of the things that, let's see, I'm going to find this comment on YouTube that was given to me by a fellow that lives in Maysville, Kentucky. And I'm going to read this comment because it's a very detailed comment. And it's really well laid out. The guy laid it out really well for me, and I can't wait to get down there and check it out. Some of the stuff. Let's see. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for this comment. There's been a lot of comments on here, which is really good. So, Garrett, I am going to pronounce his last name wrong. Garrett Honecker Kroons, Crounse. Sorry, buddy, if I mispronounced your name. Sorry. But he said, I was born and raised in Coal Grove, but live in Maysville now. I fish the Meldal Pool regularly. During the summer, I catch good numbers and quality on the main river. Clear water and a slight increase in current. Hit every grass bed you can find. Clear water and very little current. Rock and cover down in the bends. I have found the mouths of creeks and any cut or pocket that creates a break. I have most of my success throwing spinnerbaits, buzzbaits, and small finesse jigs. The double fluke is great when they're schooled up and competing with white bass for food. I worked as a captain on the towboat and barges for years. When they're approaching the mouth of the creek, water rushes into the creek. So if you watch that video, I was sitting in the mouth of Storms Creek, and I was rigging a Texas rig, and next thing I know, it's like pushing me out. So he's responding to that. Basically saying when a barge passes, it pushes water up in there, and then when they pass, all that water rushes back in there, back out of there, which makes very much sense. It said when they're approaching the mouth of the creek, water rushes into the creek. As they pass below the mouth of the creek, water rushes back out to the river. It's caused by the barge displacing water and can turn the bite on around bridges bridge piers and points. I started a group on Fish Anglr, which I've never even heard of. So I'm going to check that out. Ohio River Bass Anglers. We're trying to share information about bass fishing on the Ohio and let people know about the great bass fishery. It can be S. It can be PS. Go try the Racine pool. Tons of grass and flipping frog fishing heaven. Hopes this helped. Really, really, really good. So thank you, Garrett. Appreciate it. Eric, better not delete the channel if I don't reach 5K. Also, how many videos are you doing of this series? Man, to be honest with you, I'm up in the air about doing that. I don't want to. But one thing that I have done is I've realized how much time creating this YouTube channel actually is, and it it's kind of a win-win or a win-lose, whatever. If you want to, like, literally, I am making a little bit of money from YouTube. There is monetization going on here. That's one of the factors. But the amount of hours I put into creating a quality YouTube channel, and finally, right now, I'm actually seeing some growth, which I love. Like, I love seeing growth. Excuse me. There for a while, it was very, very stagnant, and I didn't see a lot of growth. So I'm seeing growth now. I hope not. I hope I don't give it up. This channel will never go away. Like, it'll still be there. But my 5,000 subscriber limit is something that I'm trying to reach by the end of this year, because I'm going to fish. There's no doubt. I'm also going to produce content. There's no doubt about that. However, the reason I do that is to create stuff that I can see and I can look back on. Posting it to YouTube is just something that, I hope people are enjoying it. And it also gives me a little monetary gain to allow me to fish. But right now, the average amount of money that I'm making per hour doing YouTube videos is about 80 cents a minute, or 80 cents an hour putting into it. So you can understand where your life, when you get to a certain point, Eric, I think that you'll see that how much money or how much time you have in your life is worth more to you as you get older. I think you'll see that. Phone's dying. Take care. Great information. See you on the water. Carl, appreciate you joining, buddy. Have a great night. But yeah, I'm not trying to give up on it. I'm working on it really, really hard, trying to get it up there. So another video series that you guys are going to see me doing is I'm going to do a video. I'm sorry, I didn't answer the last part of your question. How many videos are going to be in the series? There's one. This is number 2. There's going to be at least 2 more. I'm going to take all these waypoints that I just pinned tonight, go out fishing, and then I'm going to go out and use some of these techniques that Garrett actually dropped some knowledge on me. And I'm going to be doing that as an episode. So there's going to be at least 4 and possibly a 5th episode. I'm going to take all the knowledge that I've gained in these 4 episodes. I'm going to fish a Wednesday night tournament here on the Ohio River coming out of the Little Sandy and see how I do. Another video series that I'm going to be doing is for anybody trying to get into the vlogging series of anything. I know, Eric, you're doing it, and there's a lot of people doing it. One of the biggest things that people have trouble understanding is what kind of gear do I need to get started with that stuff. And I'm going to start a video series talking about this is a Yolatech Power Stick 53-inch. The different mounts that you can get for GoPros. Here is a suction cup mount through a GoPro. I'm going to show you guys the do's and don'ts, what to buy, what not to buy, all the cameras that I am using. This is a DJI Osmo Pocket. I have a Canon G7X Mark II, which I absolutely love, but I'm going to be looking at some of this stuff. And I also was just given to try out, I'm super pumped about this. This is a Canon M50. This is supposedly one of the best vlogging cameras on the market right now at a budget entry-level point. This is somewhere around $500, I think. Without the lens, this has a 17 to 50 millimeter Sigma lens on it, but it comes with a kit lens for about $500. Has a really nice flip out screen for you to see yourself when you're actually vlogging. So when you can see your stuff over there, which is really cool. So I'm excited to take this thing out for its paces, and I'm going to bring you along for that. So again, I'm producing a lot more content that people maybe not even in the fishing industry would like. but anybody getting into the whole game of vlogging and creating a YouTube channel, I'm going to be looking at that. So that's what's going to happen. So guys, right now we're about 40 minutes in. I'm going to wrap her up for tonight. Again, I didn't want this episode to be super long. This is episode 2 of a fishing series called Breaking Down the Ohio River. I live in a little town called Coal Grove, Ohio. I live 3 minutes from the Ohio River, and I've never learned how to fish it. It is one of the most hardcore places to catch any kind of fish. Catfish get really big. Catfish are plentiful here. Bass get fairly large. You can catch them up into the 5-6 pound range, but they are a needle in a haystack. When you find them, it's like they're almost like muskie, fish of 1,000 casts. But it's one of those things where I'm trying to learn. I'm helping you guys learn this thing a little better. The Anglr pack that I'm building here, again, normally you have to pay for those things. I'm going to try to get Anglr to throw that up as a free pack. I don't want to, I'm not getting rich off that. I'm not charging you guys for it. Corey Weaver, I've never fished that section. My only experience on Ohio is down by the Tennessee, Cumberland, Ohio section. Not sure if any similarities or not, but we get them pretty good out on the main river channel bends and turn channels, and barge traffic goes heavy if you could deal with the barge wakes. Yeah, so, the reason I have a love-hate relationship with the Ohio River is, one, barge traffic. I love barge traffic, one, because they're making America, they're moving America forward. And that's the thing. So barge traffic is really big. Used to be boat traffic was a huge deal. If you go down in the Maysville pool and the Meldal pool, boat traffic down there is still an issue, but it is awesome to see the amount of boats that are down there on that pool. I mean, there might be 30 boats tied up together, a giant redneck yacht club, which is pretty cool. Jason Whittigan here with us says Ohio River is definitely challenging. Not for you, bud. Looks to me like you've been hammering them down there. So congratulations on catching those big old brown cows and stuff you guys have been catching down there. I'll have to come down and you teach me something. But I'll have to check that out, Corey. Like I said, the Garrett fella dropped some knowledge on me that I feel like will be a game changer for me, especially when I use the Anglr app and can find that stuff. On my actual phone, I have the premium side of Anglr, so I can see the charts a lot better and drop pins there as well. So that's one thing that Micah, what's up, buddy? He said, hey, how's it going, Tyler? Just got home from work and joined. Are you by chance fishing the Open this weekend at Tanner's Creek? Are you familiar with that pool? I am not fishing the Open. I am headed to Lake Erie this weekend, but I am not familiar much with Tanner's Creek. I've fished it 3 times, but I've fished it 3 times out of the back of a boat. So I was a co-angler for a BFL 3 times. One of those times I finished 7th place as a BFL as a co-angler. There's a spot, and if it's an Open, you might be able to take a look at it, or if you know anybody down there that knows it, there's some kind of rock quarry down there that they make off limits for just about every tournament. And it could be off limits for your tournament, so don't, take my advice and run up in there. But if you know anything about it, or you know somebody that knows anything about it, there's a rock quarry that you can get up in, and it's like this one little narrow passage that you have to go through to get up in there. But everybody claims that that's where the hammers lay up in there, but they always make it off limits, because the reason I think that is because the rock quarry is actually privately owned. It is actually private property. But again, you get into the situation, do they own the water since it's actually going into the Ohio River? I don't know. Don't take my word for it. Don't fish it if it's private. But if you can get in there, somebody knows about that rock quarry, check it out. Tim Heberlin. All the high water every spring can't be good for the spawn. You're 100% right, man. It's weird about our area. We have a ton of rain or we have zero. The past 2 or 3 weeks have been so dry. If you threw a match outside, it would catch half of Lawrence County on fire. I'm very thankful and proud to say that we got a really nice rainstorm here in Coal Grove for about an hour. It's actually still raining outside, so I'm pumped about that. But you're right. We get a ton of rain. The river has been blown out. Matter of fact, the river was blown out up until like yesterday. Yesterday was the clearest I've seen it since this spring, which is crazy. And then, water comes through like this and just blows it out again, especially when you get into the fall. It gets high water there too. But you're right. I think that's a key to not having a giant fishery here. But the weird thing about the Ohio is that you can go south or north of us, or upriver or downriver of our greenup pool, and catch fish better than you can in any other pool. Went to the St. Mary's pool. It's a phenomenal fishery, man. Like, water is uber clear. It's like twice as clear as it here as it in the greenup pool, and that probably has something to do with all the tributaries coming in, like Storms Creek. You have the rivers coming in up around Huntington, the Guyandot River, and I don't know what those people do up on that live on the Guyandot, but there is some nasty water that comes out of that place. Hey Andrew, buddy, I'm glad you joined us. More rain this weekend, which we need for sure. I'm going to Lake Erie again. I'll be leaving on Thursday. We're leaving early Thursday. Going up, I'm fishing with my buddy Chuck Dotson, who owns Get Hook Charters. We're going to be walleye fishing for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I am packing my bass boat up there only for the simple fact, I may be jinxing myself. I'm knocking on wood here, but normally go out with Chuck. We usually find the fish, and we leave about 7 o'clock in the morning and usually home by noon with the boat cleaned up and fish cleaned and everything else. And I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs in camp. And I've never pulled my bass boat up there, but I'm going to this time. So hopefully myself, my cousin Josh, who used to be on my show, and Jamie will be out there trying to catch the smallmouth. So we're going to go try to see that. So that's where I'm headed. But I hope it does rain here some. But again, guys, I appreciate you joining tonight. We're about 45 minutes in. This is video number 2 of Breaking Down the Ohio River. If you guys are just coming in to the show when this is actually released here, it won't be totally live until tomorrow about, I don't know, well, maybe later tonight. It takes about 8 hours for it to render an actual process through YouTube, but it will be totally available and 100% live on Facebook. If you want to come and check it out there, it will be there for sure. So the next couple episodes of On the Line is going to be, let's see, it's going to be a couple days, to be honest with you. I'm going to actually, I actually may start on this video series about the camera gear that I have, talking about the best, in my opinion, to get started with. And that may be the next thing you see. If not, the next thing that you see will be probably Monday before my next live show, which will be some episodes of catching some walleye on Lake Erie, and hopefully some giant smallmouth coming out of Lake Erie, which I am pumped about. So again, guys, first and foremost, I do want to remind you that JB's Fish Sauce, the pinch of garlic, my signature blend, is available in the 4-ounce sprays here now, the mist bottles. This is my absolute favorite. Sorry it's all blown out because I have my lighting here in my my studio turned up really high today. But this is a pinch of garlic 4-ounce mist. You can actually get that on jbsfishsauce.com. I know a lot of people have been buying it. Brandon Buckner just told me the other day that he bought 2 more bottles, I believe. The dude's just been catching them on it. It's a proprietary blend of garlic and crawfish scents. Some of the best stuff on the planet is JB's Fish Sauce. You definitely need to go check it out if you haven't. Don't take my word for it. It's kind of like reading Rainbow. Go out there, try the stuff, and let me know how you do. So with that being said, guys, we will see you on the water. I may try to go live from the Facebook page while we're catching walleye. That will be all right. I might be doing that. And I'm going to be putting this M50 through its paces over this weekend. I'm going to be creating a really cool storyline with this thing. Basically, I'm going to be shooting it as a really cool video for us, and also something that Chuck can use for trying to bring in some new potential customers. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys joining this episode of On Another Line Live. My name is Tyler Waller. You can check me out on Instagram. Again, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, all at On Another Line. And that will be me. If you guys are in my area and you want to get out and do some fishing, I already talked to Andrew, 6 there. We're supposed to go out and try to lean on a few here soon. I want to get back into J.R. White. We're going to go out and do some fishing. I'm more than happy to take you guys out. I have some of the best equipment on the planet, and I would love to put it in your hands so you can try it out. It would be amazing. So I want to thank you all for joining me on Another Line tonight live, and we will see you definitely next week. Same bat time, same bat channel here on Facebook and YouTube at 8 p.m. on Tuesday at Eastern Standard Time. 3 weeks ago, we had Fluke Master on here, Gene Jensen, the man, the myth, the legend. First week in August, I've already made plans with him. I'm going fishing with Gene Jensen, a.k.a. Fluke Master, at some point on Chickamauga. So I'm going with the dude that is one of the biggest YouTube fishing sensations in the fishing world ever. He's got 370,000 subscribers, which is crazy. But we're going to one of the most amazing fisheries on the planet, Chickamauga. If you guys saw that Jacob Wheeler hammered him down there and won the FLW Super tournament down there, caught a 10-pounder, took his buddy out the very next day after the tournament ended. He ended up catching a 10-pounder also. So it's just a hammer hole. Pretty excited to get down there. The river's best. Yeah. Yes, I like it, but it's a TikTok trend. I like it, but I don't like it a lot. Micah, good luck on here. Hopefully she behaves and you get out in the main lake with your bass boat. Dude, yeah. I've been to Lake Erie 100 times, and there's only been a few times where I felt like that I could go out and actually catch fish in a bass boat because it gets turned up quick style. Been out there, and I'm not lying to you guys, the most scared I've ever been in my life was on Lake Erie in a Z21 boat with Kyle. It was almost a brand new boat, and we were in 7-footers in a hurry, and it was not fun. So if it's like that, bud, I'll be sitting there watching them break on the rocks, and that will be that. So, again, guys, we'll see you next time on Another Line. The next episode you guys are going to see is going to be the Erie series, and then after that, we're going to continue talking about breaking down the Ohio River and seeing how it goes. So we dropped a bunch of points on the Anglr app tonight. Next time I get out on the river, I'm going to go try to hit those points, either check them, leave them checked on the list, or get them off the list and try to break down some other stuff on there. So, excuse me. Again, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next time. If you guys can get out there and lean on them, make sure it happens. Send me some pictures, and we'll feature them on the show. So, see you guys next time on Another Line.